All right, let's dive in. Today, we're all about happiness. But, and here's the catch, we're going deep.
Deep.
Yeah, we're talking Robert Holden's happiness now. No fluffy stuff here.
Yeah.
We're unpacking real and kind of surprising truths about happiness. Like, get this, one of the biggest things is you don't chase happiness.
You don't.
Nope, it's already in you, like all the time.
Hmm.
The trick, the real journey, is figuring out how to, tap into it.
Makes you think, right? We're kind of taught that happiness is like a prize, something you got to earn.
Totally.
You work hard, you achieve things, you get the validation, then bam, happiness.
But Holden flips that on its head.
He really does.
Like with Annabelle. Remember her from the book?
Oh, Annabelle, classic example.
Super successful career woman, healthy lifestyle, the whole 9 yards,
Yeah,
but miserable.
shows you, right? It's a trap, looking outside yourself for that happiness.
It's like we're on this treadmill, always reaching for something more to finally be happy.
More money, the perfect partner, a bigger house.
But Holden's been there. He hit 30 and was like, wait, I've been doing all the self-improvement things and I still feel empty.
That's a huge turning point in the book.
It is. That's where he ditches self-improvement and goes for self-acceptance.
Huge difference.
Totally.
Self-improvement can come from, well, feeling like you lack something, like you're not enough right now, always trying to change to fit some mold.
But with self-acceptance, it's like, hey, I'm already whole.
Yeah.
You recognize you have worth, just as you are. There's this great meditation Holden uses. It says, without self-acceptance, peace is impossible. With self-acceptance, peace is yours.
So powerful.
Right. Peace and happiness aren't out there to be found. They're already inside us.
And that's where our friend the ego comes in.
Oh, yeah, the ego.
Holden calls it the white rabbit, always chasing this imaginary carrot of happiness.
So true. It's like we're programmed for more there next and never actually enjoy what is.
It's that greener grass thing. Think if I just change my job, my location, my stuff, then I'll be happy.
Always running from ourselves. But, as they say, wherever you go, there you are.
Precisely. Which brings us to, and this is a good one, the cosmic joke.
Okay, gotta hear about this cosmic joke.
It's the funny truth that everything we're searching for, love, happiness, you name it, it's already inside us.
Oh, I see.
Like that story of the student riding an ox, looking for an ox.
So we already have what we want.
Yep. We're just looking in the wrong place.
Mind blown. But wait, doesn't that make us passive? If we're already whole, why do anything?
Good question. It's not about being passive. It's a total shift in how we see things. Instead of lack, we start from a place of fullness.
I like that. But what about the negative stuff? The sadness, fear, all that. Can't just ignore that.
Holden doesn't shy away from that at all. He dives right in, says all those unhappy feelings, they all come from fear.
Huh. So they're not bad in themselves.
More like signals, like a warning light on your car. You got to pay attention.
Right, can't just ignore them.
Exactly. Ignoring them leads to bigger problems down the line. Holden says being honest with ourselves and others, that's the first step to healing.
Honesty's tough, though. We're taught to hide our emotions, toughen up, all that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Society tells us to suppress our feelings, and it just makes things worse. Remember Grimaldi, the depressed clown?
Oh, yeah, him?
The guy whose job is to make others laugh, but inside, he's struggling.
So he had to be honest with himself before he could heal.
Exactly. We all need a little self-compassion.
For sure. Be kind to ourselves, especially when things are tough.
Absolutely. And that's where Holden's complementary medicine therapy comes in.
Complementary medicine, what's that?
It's basically giving ourselves compliments. Sounds simple, but it's a powerful way to fight those negative thoughts.
I like it. We got to recognize our own worth,
We often judge ourselves way harsher than we judge anyone else. By learning to love and accept ourselves, even when we're struggling, that's where real healing begins.
So honesty is the first step. But then what? How do we actually deal with those deep fears that keep us from being happy?
Holden says love is the antidote to fear. He even goes as far as saying love is heaven, fear is hell.
Whoa, that's a pretty strong statement. He's just talking about romantic love there.
It's bigger than that. It's about cultivating a loving attitude towards ourselves, towards others, towards life itself.
I see. So it's not about needing some perfect version of ourselves or anyone else?
No, not at all. It's embracing everything, the good, the bad, the messy, accepting and appreciating it all.
And that's where forgiveness comes in, right? Letting go of the grudges, the bitterness.
You got it. Forgiveness is ultimately an act of self-love. It's about letting go of that anger and pain.
Forgiveness is hard, though. It's easy to hold on to those grudges.
Understandable, but all that resentment does is keep you stuck in the past. It blocks you from the joy and peace you could be feeling right now.
So true. This all ties into another big idea from the book, letting go.
Letting go of control, fear, needing to be right, all of that.
Holden has that story about the guy trapped on a roof during a flood,
Oh, yeah, help is right there, but he's clinging to the chimney for dear life.
afraid to let go.
A perfect picture of how we hold on to our suffering, even when it's hurting us.
It's like we're so used to rowing against the current that we're scared to trust the river.
And that's the choice, isn't it? Between doing and being. Our ego wants us to believe happiness comes from achieving things, but our true selves know it comes from just being present, accepting ourselves as we are.
That's what he calls present time goals.
Exactly. Shifting the focus from future wants to merge you what truly matters now.
Instead of I'll be happy when, it's what brings me joy right now.
Yes. And Holden tells this story about a taxi driver who has this life-changing moment and realizes what's truly important.
Wow, we've covered a lot. Self-improvement versus self-acceptance, the ego's tricks, the cosmic joke, unhappiness, love, forgiveness, letting go. And we're just getting started.
It's quite a journey.
It is so much to think about. What's standing out to you so far?
Honestly, the idea that happiness is already within us, like all the time, that's both amazing and kind of scary.
I know. It means we have the potential for joy in every moment. But it also means we got to shift our perspective, let go of those old beliefs that are holding us back.
It's a challenge, for sure. But that's what makes this journey so worthwhile.
Yeah, it's a challenge, but it's like Holden says, happiness is a choice.
It is a choice. You know, it's not always easy, especially with everything going on in the world.
True, but like you were saying before about choosing love over fear.
Right. Like, even when things are tough, we can choose how we react. We can get angry and resentful, or we can try to approach things with compassion and understanding.
So it's not just about feeling happy. It's about choosing happiness.
It's like a way of being in the world. You know, how we relate to ourselves, to other people, to life in general.
Like instead of always focusing on the negative, we try to see the good.
And that can be really powerful. It's about recognizing that we have a choice in every moment.
But what about when things are really bad? You know, when we're dealing with loss or grief or huge challenges, how can we possibly choose happiness then?
That's a tough one. And Holden doesn't try to pretend it's easy. He acknowledges that suffering is a part of life.
But even in those dark times, he says, there's always a glimmer of light.
If we're willing to look for it.
So instead of clinging to how we think things should be, we try to accept what is.
Trusting that there's a bigger picture, even if we don't understand it.
It's like letting go of the oars and trusting the river to carry us.
Exactly. It's about having faith, not necessarily in a religious sense, but in the goodness of life.
So even when things are tough, we can find that inner knowing that we're going to be okay.
And that can give us so much strength and resilience. We can face those challenges knowing that we're not alone.
Holden also talks about the importance of asking for help.
Yes, we often try to do everything ourselves, but sometimes we need to reach out.
It's like that story of the man on the roof during the flood waiting for God to rescue him while his neighbor is right there offering help.
It's funny, but it makes you think, you know, sometimes we get in our own way.
So it's okay to be vulnerable, to let people in and receive support.
Absolutely. And it's not just about receiving. Holden also talks about the importance of giving.
Like being generous with our time and energy and love.
He even says that giving is a form of receiving.
It's like the more you give, the more you get.
But it's not about giving to get something back. It's about giving from a place of love and recognizing that we're all connected.
It's about shifting from scarcity to abundance, from me to we.
And that can be incredibly powerful. It creates a ripple effect of kindness and compassion.
Holden also talks about being true to ourselves, living in a way that feels authentic.
Yeah, so often we get caught up in chasing external goals, success, money, status.
But those things don't always align with our values.
We need to ask ourselves what's truly important, what brings us joy, what makes us feel alive.
And then have the courage to live in a way that reflects those answers.
Exactly, even if it means taking a less conventional path.
It's about creating a life that feels meaningful and fulfilling.
And that authenticity can be so liberating. It frees us from comparing ourselves to others or chasing after things that don't really matter.
It's about finding happiness in the simple things in the present moment, in who we truly are.
And that brings us back to Holden's distinction between doing and being.
Right. We often try to do our way to happiness through achievements and accomplishments.
But true happiness comes from just being, from accepting ourselves as we are.
Flaws and all.
Exactly, recognizing that our worth isn't based on what we do or what we have, but on who we are at our core.
So we shift our focus from lack to what we already possess, from doing to being.
And that can be a big shift, especially in a culture that values achievement so much.
But it's so freeing to let go of that constant striving and pressure to prove ourselves.
It's about realizing that we are enough just as we are right now.
And that brings us to another key point, letting go of control.
Like that man on the roof clinging to the chimney.
We think holding on is safer, but sometimes we need to surrender to something bigger.
It's about trusting that the river of life will carry us, even if it's not the way we planned.
Having faith that everything will work out, even if we don't understand how.
And that can be so hard when we're facing challenges, but it's often in those moments of surrender that we find the greatest peace and joy.
So this deep dive into happiness now has been packed with insights.
We've talked about self-acceptance, the ego, the cosmic joke, unhappiness, love, forgiveness, and letting go.
We've explored the importance of asking for help, giving back, being true to ourselves, and surrendering control.
It's been quite a journey.
It has. What's resonating with you the most?
I think it's the simplicity of Holden's message. It's not about complicated techniques, but about shifting our perspective and making conscious choices.
You're right. It's not about finding happiness, but creating it.
And that's something we all have the power to do.
So as we move into the final part of our deep dive, keep this question in mind. What if happiness isn't something you find, but something you create? Creating happiness, huh?
Yeah.
That's a big idea. And Holden gives us some actual tools to, make it happen. One that really stuck with me is gratitude.
Oh, gratitude's huge. It's so simple, but it can totally change how you feel.
It's like instead of focusing on what's missing, you appreciate what you already have.
Exactly. You shift from I don't have enough to wow, look at all this good stuff.
And the more you do it, the more you see to be grateful for.
It's like you start noticing all these little things you might have missed before. The sunshine, a good cup of coffee.
There's everyday joys, right?
Exactly. And focusing on those things actually makes you happier.
It's like a positive spiral.
Exactly. Gratitude leads to happiness. Happiness leads to more gratitude. It shows you that happiness isn't something you wait for. It's a choice you make right now.
Right now. Holden also talks a lot about being present, really in the moment. He says that's where real happiness lives.
In the now, not in the past, not in the future, just being here.
I get that, but it's hard, isn't it? I mean, life's so busy and distracting.
It is. It takes practice to quiet your mind and just be. Holden talks about things like meditation, paying attention to your breath, getting out in nature.
All those things that help you slow down.
Exactly. It's about finding that stillness inside yourself. That's
Wow.
where real happiness is.
Not something out there, but something in here.
You got it.
I heard this quote the other day. It said, happiness is not a state to arrive at, but a manner of traveling.
Oh, I like that. That's perfect. It's not about reaching some perfect happy ending. It's about enjoying the journey, even with all its ups and downs.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into happiness now, what's the one thing you really want our listener to remember?
I want them to remember who they are. At their core, they are love, they are joy, they have so much potential. Happiness is their birthright. It's not something they have to earn. It's already there.
Beautiful. Thanks for joining us on this journey into happiness. Remember to be kind to yourselves. Notice the good stuff. Be present and trust that life is good. Until next time, keep exploring and keep embracing the joy that's already inside you.